Have you ever heard of a country entirely surrounded by another country? Today, we're diving into the incredible history of one such place, Lesotho, the kingdom in the sky. Tucked away high in the Drakensberg and Maloti Mountains, this small nation has a story of survival, resilience, and identity that is truly inspiring. Its journey from a collection of scattered clans to a modern independent state is a testament to the vision of one great leader and the spirit of its people. So, how did this mountain kingdom come to be? Our story begins in the early 19th century. Southern Africa was in turmoil. This period, known as the Lifakane or Mifekan, was a time of widespread chaos, warfare, and migration, largely triggered by the expansion of the Zulu kingdom under Shaka. Many smaller clans and communities were displaced, fleeing for their lives and seeking refuge in safer territories. It was during this turbulent time that a remarkable leader emerged. His name was Moshoshu, born Lepoko. He was the son of a minor chief of the Bamokoteli clan, a branch of the Kurna people. From a young age, Moshoshu showed exceptional diplomatic skill and strategic thinking. He understood that in a world of conflict, strength didn't just come from fighting, but from unity and defense. Moshoshu began by gathering his own people and other scattered refugees, leading them to a mountain fortress called Budabov. This natural stronghold offered some protection, but it wasn't enough. After surviving several sieges, Moshoshu made a brilliant strategic move around 1824. He led his followers on a perilous journey to an even more formidable mountain plateau. This place was called Tababosu, meaning mountain at night. Legend says it was named so because it was believed to grow larger and more intimidating at night, striking fear into the hearts of enemies. Tababosu was a nearly impenetrable flat-topped mountain with steep cliffs on all sides and only a few narrow, easily defensible passes to the summit. It had fresh water springs and enough land for grazing and cultivation. It was the perfect fortress. From this secure base, Moshoshu's reputation grew. But he wasn't a typical conqueror. His strategy was one of diplomacy and incorporation. Instead of just fighting off enemies, he offered protection and land to those who sought his leadership. He welcomed refugees from countless different clans, regardless of their origin. He would often defeat his enemies in battle and then, instead of destroying them, offer them food and shelter, turning former foes into loyal subjects. This policy of peace and clemency earned him immense respect. He was building a nation, not just an army. Slowly but surely, a new national identity began to form. People from diverse Sotho-Tswana-speaking groups as well as Anguni refugees came together under Moshoshu's rule. They became the Basotho people, and their language is Sotho. Moshoshu was not just a king. He was the father of their nation, Morena Imoholo, the great chief. As the Basotho nation grew stronger, new challenges appeared on the horizon. From the 1830s onwards, the Voortrekkers, Afrikaans-speaking settlers moving inland from the British-controlled Cape Colony, began to arrive. These newcomers, with their wagons and firearms, were looking for land. Inevitably, this led to conflict with the Basotho over territory and resources, particularly the fertile Caledon River Valley. Moshoshu, ever the diplomat, initially tried to establish peaceful relations. He understood the power of the written word and modern technology. In 1833, he invited French Protestant missionaries from the Paris Evangelical Missionary Society to settle at Tababosu. He hoped they would act as advisors, scribes, and intermediaries with the encroaching Europeans. They helped him draft letters, taught some of his people to read and write, and provided a window to the outside world. Despite these efforts, conflicts with the settlers who later established the Orange Free State intensified. A series of wars known as the Basotho Gun Wars or Sekiti Wars were fought between the 1840s and 1860s. The Basotho, skilled horsemen who knew their mountainous terrain intimately, fought bravely. Tababosu itself was attacked multiple times but was never conquered. The Basotho warriors under the command of Moshoshu and his sons successfully repelled every assault. However, the wars took a heavy toll. The Basotho lost a significant amount of their most fertile land. By the late 1860s, the Orange Free State was on the verge of overrunning the kingdom. Facing the potential annihilation of his people and the loss of their independence, Marshal Shu made a final, desperate diplomatic appeal. He turned to the British, a power he had cautiously engaged with for decades. After much negotiation in 1868, Queen Victoria's government agreed to Marshal Shu's request. The kingdom was declared a British protectorate, becoming known as Basutoland. This act saved the nation from being completely absorbed by the Orange Free State. It was a difficult choice for Marshal Shu, as it meant giving up some sovereignty, but it preserved the core of his kingdom and the identity of the Lesotho people. He had secured their future. Marshal Shu passed away in 1870, just 2 years after achieving this crucial protection. He left behind a unified nation, a legacy of wise leadership, and an enduring symbol of resistance and diplomacy in Thabi Bosu. His famous proverb, Katso ke Nala, meaning peace is prosperity, remains the national motto of Lesotho this day. Life under British rule was not always easy. The British initially tried to administer Basutoland from the Cape Colony, which led to tensions. In 1880, the Cape government attempted to disarm the Lesotho people, sparking the gun war. The Lesotho, fiercely independent, rose up in resistance. Their determined fight was so effective that in 1884, the British decided to separate Basutoland from the Cape Colony and administer it directly from London as a High Commission territory. This arrangement gave the Lesotho chiefs, the sons and grandsons of Marshal Shu, a significant degree of internal self-rule. For the next several decades, Basutoland existed in a unique state, governed by its traditional leadership, but under the overall protection of the British Crown. This period saw the development of schools, hospitals, and a system of migrant labor, where many Lesotho men went to work in the mines of neighboring South Africa. This brought money into the kingdom, but also created social challenges. As the 20th century progressed, the winds of change blew across Africa. The tide of decolonization and independence was rising. In Basutoland, a sense of modern national consciousness grew stronger. Political parties were formed in the 1950s and 60s, most notably the Basutoland Congress Party and the Lesotho National Party, led by Chief Leabua Jonathan. Discussions about the future began, and the path to independence became clear. On October 4, 1966, Basutoland finally achieved full independence from Britain. It was renamed the Kingdom of Lesotho, with Marshal Shu II, the great-great-grandson of the nation's founder, as its king, and Chief Leabua Jonathan as its first prime minister. The dream of a sovereign Lesotho nation, first envisioned by Marshal Shu on the peak of Thaba Bosu, was fully realized. The post-independence years have had their own share of challenges, including political instability and economic dependence on South Africa. Yet through it all, the people of Lesotho have held onto their unique culture and fierce sense of identity. Their history is a powerful reminder that even the smallest of nations, armed with unity, strategic thinking, and a deep love for their homeland, can carve out their own destiny against all odds. From the chaos of the Lifakane to the diplomatic genius of Marshal Shu I, from the impregnable fortress of Thaba Bosu to the complexities of the modern world, the story of Lesotho is one of survival and pride. It's the story of a kingdom forged in the mountains, a true kingdom in the sky. Thanks so much for joining me on this journey through Lesotho's incredible history. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe for more stories from around the world, and let me know in the comments what country's history you'd like to explore next. See you in the next video.